everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Moving and Breathing for Wellness. I'm Justin with Resonant Body Acupuncture, and today we are going to talk a little bit about forearm, arm, shoulder, and wrist pain and what we can do to help. So, a lot of us, we have computer jobs, things like that. We begin to develop carpal tunnel, this, that, or the other, issues with mobility of the arms, the shoulders, the upper body. Some of us in an inability to grip, and what we can do to how we can stretch out the various muscles that connect to our wrist and to our shoulders and things like that. And then it's all just going to be upper body movement. Start off, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the muscles of the hand and in gripping. So that's these forearm muscles right here. And so, when we're gripping a mouse, or if we're writing with pencil all day, pen all day, using stuff like that, we use our forearm muscles to help with gripping and flexion and extension of the wrist. And over time, you can begin developing trigger points, especially right through here. Now, a trigger point is a bundle of muscle fibers that have contracted and won't let go. And these often cause referral pain patterns, one of the major ones being tennis elbow. And tennis elbow is often used, when you're playing tennis, but it can be, you can get it from various other activities. Oftentimes what happens is that there's a lot of pain right through here. You can't move your arm like this. You begin to feel weak throughout it, and that can be caused by trigger points, and then, which leads to inflammation, which then leads to the pain, and then it's the whole cycle. So one of the things that you can do is self-massage, and it's a cross fiber friction massage. So our muscles in our arm run down this way. So what you do is you take your hand and you kind of grab. So on your arm, on your forearm, you can kind of feel the separation of the finger muscles. And most of us have this. May not be a fully developed trigger point, but it's often a tender point. So here's your elbow. Just slide down, and there's a little divot. And in that divot, you find a little muscle. So what you do is you kind of just pluck that muscle like it's a guitar or a bass string, and you'll feel that sensation go all the way down through your arm into your wrist, or maybe it may be local, maybe feel it up into the elbow, but you will feel it. It's a nice little pressure point, trigger point, whatever you want to call it. And it's so basically the idea is that you just kind of rotate your wrist and keep your hands almost locked in place. Self-massage technique that you can utilize to help relieve some of the discomfort from that. Other times, with upper arm and shoulder issues, it may be an issue with mobility or rotating around. We may have what's known as a rotator tear, or something like that. But in all actuality, it may not actually be a tear, but another one of the trigger points that's just developed within the rotator cuff muscles, which are the four muscles in the shoulder and scapula that help to rotate your arm. So one of the best ways to do that and to help relieve some of that, so this one is going to be a little bit more of a standing. So what you want to do, right? So we have the bat muscle, right? The bat wing muscle, the Bruce Lee muscle if you want. Basically our lats. So you can kind of come up, you wrap your arm around as far back as possible, and then you try and look for any tender spots. Some of it, if you can, reach all the way back and grab the spine or the anterior border of the scapula, and you can just kind of slide down. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to bring your arm around. I always like to have people do pinky up, and then you're just kind of dropping and sliding down that muscle while you're lifting up and going into a circle. And then you do the same thing. And the idea is that what you're doing is that you're beginning to help pull some of those muscle structures apart, allowing them to create space and allowing them to let go so they're not so tight and bundled up. This is a really good one for anybody who has like shoulder or neck injuries or discomfort, pain, inability to move in the full spectrum of motion in the arm. You can do the same thing with the other one. Final exercise that I'm going to teach you and show you is it's based off of the Shaolin Qigong form called the Yi Jin Qing, which is the classic of changing tendons. And basically what this does is this particular one, there's this huge set of exercises, so I'm only going to show you a little bit, but this is for helping to strengthen the wrist, the forearms, and to just kind of strengthen all the lines of the arm. When I mention a line, what I'm talking about is a muscle chain or a myofascial train. And you know, we have them all over our body. This one is just mainly specifically focused in the arm and the forearm specifically. So what you do is you have your palms like this and you push them down, right? And so what you want to do is you take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, you're pushing your palms down and pulling your fingers back. So then you're holding that tension. You breathe in, keeping that tension held. You exhale, pushing your palms down even further and pulling your fingertips back even more. So, and you'll immediately begin to feel it all the way up through here. The next one is very similar, only it's out this way. So you're breathing in, and you're pushing your palms out and pulling your fingers back. What you should do when you do, you should feel that go through here, and you may even feel it into your tricep and in towards your back. So those are all very good little exercises, stretches, and stuff that you can do to help strengthen, increase flexibility and mobility of the forearms and the upper arms. And these are just basic exercises. They don't take very long to do. You can do them for a short amount of time and get a large benefit out from them. I had this one requested by one of my patients, so here's today's episode. I hope you enjoy it. As always, if you have any particular issues that you would like me to discuss, I'm more than happy to talk about them. I'm Justin with Resonant Body Acupuncture, and this has been episode 7 of Moving and Breathing for Wellness. I'll see you next time.